Welcome to another episode of Halftime Adjustments. It's your host, Eddie Arnell. Man, G Witt is back with us tonight,
Tighten
man.
up,
Welcome
baby.
back, G
Tighten
Witt.
up.
J. Lou in the building.
Tighten up, baby.
Tighten up, man. What do you say? Here we are again, man. Seems like the record's been broken so many times. Another road game, another road test in week 9, coming off a win where you got a little bit of a high back, right? You wanted to see what the rookie could do, and the rookie, he did pretty well. Had some opportunities last week. Wanted to see now going against a better defense, a defense that we knew was going to pressure him. It was going to cause issues with this offensive line. 4 touchdown passes last week. The defense had 6 sacks, so they affected the quarterback, as Vrabel likes to say, last week. It was, can they carry it over? That's the big question, right? And I mean, let's just go on and get into it. Results still is 20, Titans 16. G Witt hadn't been with us for a couple weeks, man, so I'm gonna pass on the mic right off the bat. 3 takeaways, G Witt, from this game, in your perspective.
All right. I mean, the most obvious one is that really, even if Ryan Tannehill is healthy, he should come back as QB2, and Will Levis should be starting. I will say this, considering all the injuries that they experienced last night, I thought the offensive line was adequate. Not great, not necessarily good, but adequate. I mean, they held their own for quite a while. I mean, I thought Dylan Radins came in and did a great job. Thought Brewer actually played better last night than he has in a while, and I'm trying to think of what else. But other than that, I mean, really, the third thing I would say is, Jeffrey Simmons did all he could. He did all he could. I mean, you get double team, triple team, and it's just hard to break through. So he did all he could, but he did. I think he was one of the lone bright spots on that defense, and that's pretty much the only good things I got.
J. Lou, man, give me 3 takeaways, man, from this game. Y'all had a chance to sleep on it a little bit, and so let me hear what you got.
So my first takeaway would be similar to what G Witt said. There's no reason that Will Levis shouldn't play the rest of the year. And I'm going to say that the best coaching hire has been Charles London, because he's got him looking better than the quarterbacks in his rookie class so far through 2 games. Now, a couple of them got a few more games on him, but I mean, the stats are going to show an interception, and he's got some throws that you can get back. But at the end of the day, you've seen him in back-to-back games on a week to prepare, or 2 weeks to prepare for a team, and then 2 days to prepare for a team. He still takes shots down the field. He's still getting rid of the ball. Now, again, he's got that. You can tell last night he's got that gunslinger mentality, which we haven't had around here, so you can reel that back. I'd rather him be that way and we have to reel him back in some than gunshot or throw the ball like we've seen from the last 3 quarterbacks we've had on this roster. So I feel like he should be QB1. The defense is not as good as they thought they were in preseason, in off season. And I believe they've given up as a team over 125 yards the last 3 to 4 games. Okay, last 4.
Ooh, yeah.
So yeah, that's something to be said. You go from being the best defensive team against the run in the league to just dropping off, and nothing has changed with the exception of Bud Dupree on the front 4 from last year. I don't know if I'm missing anybody else from the front 4, because you got 3 or 4 of the ones still the same when you look at Autry, Big Jeff, Tart, Daquan Jones, and them. So, and I know your linebackers changed as well, but the run defense is definitely not that. And then coaching, I'm going to continue to put it out on coaching. I'm not in this camp of fans that says Vrabel should be fired today, because that's just stupid. However, I do believe he's leaning towards a Mike Munchak type of conversation this offseason if it continues to go the way it's going. injuries aside, and the Steelers are not the best roster in the league, but somehow they're 5-3 with that quarterback they had last night. And you know how I feel about Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's my favorite coach in the league. His team has found the way to figure it out. We have a coaching staff that you're almost coming up. Let's be honest. If you lose the next 2 games that you're on the road, you haven't won a road game in over a year. You continue to play up and down, and we can't keep giving you the built-in excuse of injuries and the roster. Yes, the roster is terrible, and we know we're behind, but it shouldn't be that big of a drop off from what you see. And again, I'm not going to even talk about the drop off as far as play between home and away, because last week was similar to the same. You continue to come out, and we're inconsistent with play calling on both sides of the ball at opportune times of the game, and that starts with the man up top, Vrabel, and filters down to those coordinators. So those would be my 3 takeaways from last night.
I agree with y'all, man. Good assessment. But so of course, we all agree Will Levis should be the quarterback. 0-8 on the road. You already said that. Conservative play calling. Let's talk about that for a second, because as before we came on, I mentioned the Titans had the football. They forced the punt. It was up 16-13. Had a chance to really put some separation in this game, and kind of just took the foot off the gas. I do like, though, that and you can tell that Levis has got that confidence. He's just got that it factor.
Yes.
He stands in the end zone and throws a dart to D-Hop, and they converted 1st and 20.
23.
But
23.
But 29 yards.
Yeah.
When was the last time we saw that happen? And so, again, that was early in the game. And so it's like they went away from that attacking mode to like, all right, now we're going to play this to keep it close and hope to win the game at the end. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Sound familiar?
As G. Witt says, that's the pretty spot. That's the pretty game plan.
Absolutely.
Right. I mean, it's like if you would just close your eyes and you just think you couldn't tell the difference between this organization now with Vrabel and what Fisher had back in the day, right? I mean, that's my opinion.
Correct.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and you look at, of course, the offensive line play is terrible. I don't know why Dylan Rundez is not playing more at tackle. You see they inserted him, and he pretty much locked up T.J. Watt. Same thing he did for Bosa when he came in a couple of seasons ago. The guy can play ball. Why are they holding him back? Again, that goes back to your coach. And then we talked about the secondary, how secondary is really bad. Amani Hooker's been exposed. He's slow. And with your issues in the secondary, and I kicked this over to coaching with Bowen. Why aren't you blitzing more? Why aren't you doing more zone blitzes? Why aren't you doing stuff to bring different amount of people? Everybody knows now your twist stunts, your games up front. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. And so when they did get pressure, something that G. Witt said before we came on, when they did bring an extra guy or two, they got pressure. So why not bring a 5-man front, single up? Who can block Jeffrey Simmons one-on-one? We hadn't seen it yet.
No.
We hadn't seen it yet. And you look at the schedule, fellas, over these games that we played, these first 8 games. Only game that we really should have lost was the Browns. All these other games are winnable games that just at the end of the day, they just couldn't make the plays or, whatever, just various issues. And so, man, it's crazy. And thank y'all for coming out, man. People coming in, get your questions and get your comments in. You see the ticker down there. Who's to blame for this loss? We'll get more to that. We'll talk more tonight. Want to hear you guys, what you guys think about who is to blame for this loss. 0-8 on the road. Hadn't run a road game this season. Something's just not right. So, Jay Lou, man, let's go into the offense a little bit more, man. Break it down. What you see, your thoughts. Week 2 of Will Levis show. Go ahead. I know what you're gonna bring out, but go ahead.
Yeah. So I thought. As me and you said on the show last week, you knew he would come back down to earth. To me, he didn't really fall off a cliff. Now he had some throws that again you want to get back. I thought he again gave his receivers the one thing we've been screaming about for the last 2 years. He gave the receivers chances to make plays. I will tell you this. He is a smart rookie because he knows that DeAndre Hopkins is his bread and butter. And I think Hopkins had like 14 targets last night or something like that, which we've all sit up here and said is a number one. That's probably what you should have. I loved the fact, and I said it 2 weeks ago, right before the bye, that Kyle Phillips better not ever touch the field again as a punt returner. Let him focus on being a wide receiver. This is 2 weeks in a row, knock on wood, let's hope he stay healthy, that you've seen him get involved in the offense.
So is that the quarterback play?
That's what I was going to get at. It's the quarterback play, because you have a quarterback now that, and again, let's think about it. He's got the same trash offensive. He was under pressure over 50% last night. It was 43 last week against Atlanta. He's getting the same pressure that Tannehill got. The difference is he's processing much quicker, and you see him getting through his reads. The play he made, one of the better plays I thought he made last night as a rookie, was when they brought that corner blitz. He checked, called it out, and threw it right to Burks where the blitz came from.
But I got pissed off because he called it out to the right guard and he didn't even do it.
Yeah, he didn't even go over there. So.
He still went on the combo block with the center. I'm like, come on, man, he threw it out.
And that's Brunskill. That's your most veteran.
That's your most veteran guy.
I'm like, come on.
But to see him command that, and to your point, see his poise, I think that's the good thing. Derrick Henry, again, 17 carries. You might want to give him to 20. I personally thought that the mix was good. I think last night you seen them change it a little bit, and I don't know offhand how many carries Spears had, but I don't think you gave Spears enough carries last night when you mixed him in on the field. I think you had him in too many.
He had 5 carries.
Yeah, see, to me that's not. So you looking at what, 22 carries total for them. That number need to be more at about 28 to 30. I think, because we've seen him run between the tackles. And to your point about the conservative play calling, this game was lost on 2 different drives, on one in the first half, one in the second half.
Yes.
The first half, when Vrabel said it today or last night in his press conference, 1 to 2, the third down, the blown opportunity in Cleveland is the reason we didn't go throw the ball on third down and before the halftime, because they didn't get no points in Cleveland. So that's why we didn't go back to the end zone, which I thought was conservative to take the 3. Yes. And then when Pittsburgh made a bonehead decision on the touchdown and you got the ball in midfield down by 4, you ran 3. First of all, the reverse to Burks. You know Burks is hurt. Kudos to him for trying to tough it out. That's a horrible play call. And then you ran it 2 other times, and then you was a 4th and 4 to throw a bomb. That is the drive that lost the game, because there's no way you get the ball on midfield, and that's the play calling that you came up with. So I still think, I mean, we said it now. I think Tim Kelly has a better feel to call the game than his predecessor, but they both still cannot call games and have a great feel for them at the most opportune times. But and then the offensive line, I will give kudos to Peter, and I give kudos to Brewer. Now, Brewer had a couple high snaps last night, but I thought he held his own, and Brunskill when they came back in. But at this point in time, you're at the point in the season after 8 games, but basically halfway through. You just need to forget starting positions and put your best 5 out there in the position they're going to be at and go from there. So that's kind of my assessment of the offense from last night.
Go ahead, G.
Well, okay. My thing on first of all, let me just say about Levis. What we saw, I'm gonna say like this: what we saw when training camp holds true. Levis has strong wrists, and that is what allows him to be able to throw off his back foot and still be accurate enough and get the ball out there with some velocity on it. I like that, but at the same time, I will say this. And again, he's a rookie, so he has grace on this, but he has definitely got to improve on his footwork, because there were times where he had time to throw the ball, and because he did not step into the throw, the ball either died on him or it sailed on him. So he definitely has to work on that. But other than that, I will say this: he has a great command of the hustle. Of the huddle. What Vrabel did has been doing all season with him, and with London working with him as well, in the fact that when they are running the practice squad players or running the scout team, having them to call the game inside the huddle just like they would in a regular game, is giving him better command of the huddle, and also giving him an opportunity to read the defense. Because another thing that Vrabel found in that article from TD yesterday was that Vrabel has basically been saying, don't just throw where the defense is expecting you to throw. Make adjustments. And so we see that with Levis in the games. I think he's doing a great job reading defenses. He's doing a great job calling out blitzes. Yeah, he's missing some throws. He's that gunslinger mentality is what's keeping him from taking some of those check downs.
Yes.
But again, those are things you can coach. You can
Mhm.
get him better at.
Right.
And considering the fact that we have a trash offensive line, the fact that he only got sacked 4 times and really he only got sacked once in the second half, I thought he held up well and was good and was fairly good about getting rid of the ball instead of taking a sack.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. He's got some football moxie about him. The offensive line, it is what it is, man. It just is what it is. I mean, there's nothing else you can do about it. You know, I give kudos to Skoronski. You know, he got hurt, came right back in. I even give kudos to Dillard. He got hurt, he came right back in. So
Yeah.
you could tell there's something going on there. But I'm like you guys, I don't understand why Dylan Radins is not playing more. Whether at guard or tackle is not making any sense to me. That he's not out there on the field. Forget, like you said, forget having a starting 5. Play the best players. Play the guys who are being the most effective.
Right.
And so I'm all for that. Receivers, really, we're in a bind and we're in the quandary. We're in the same quandary we were last year, and that we really only got one receiver that knows how to get open. And Joy Porter Jr. was holding and grabbing and everything.
Oh my
And the
gosh.
officials didn't call it until that last drive. I thought you see Cal Phillips got open a few times. You saw NWI get open a few times. They weren't throwing the ball to Chig, but Chig has got to earn trust. He drops too many and drops too many wide open. So the tight end, I hated to see that interception at the end because it was the same play he threw a couple of times earlier where guy dropped the ball. I saw what he was trying to do, but I thought they really could have used the middle of the field more on that last drive and still would have been able to get a playoff.
Yeah.
But other than that, I thought Derek ran the ball good. One thing I've noticed about Derek this season is that he's focused more on ball security than he is about using that stiff arm. He's trying to make sure he's not fumbling the ball, especially after he had, 6 fumbles last year or something like that. He's definitely focused on ball security. So I think that's why we see him sometimes not using the stiff arm, getting tackled, shoestring tackles and everything, where he used to use the stiff arm to push people away. He's not doing that. Tajay Spears got a good lesson last night, even though he only ran the ball 5 times. Dude, just don't dance as much. Move and get going. But other than that, man, I really have no major complaints on the offense. Like you said, conservative play calling was driving me crazy. You get backed up to the end zone, and your first play is a play action pass to D-Hop. I thought was great, and then you never do it again. So I'm like, dude, what? I mean, come on now. You're trying to win the football game, so it's like it's like Tim Kelly was coaching scared of that Pittsburgh defense, and he had no reason to be. He had no reason to be, especially even with the pass rush. He had no reason to be because his offensive line held up fairly decent.
Yeah,
but he just—I don't know. He coached scared.
So that begs the question, guys. It begs the question in my mind. So is Vrabel putting the brakes on this offense?
Yes.
When they getting in certain predicaments, certain situations, is he saying, "Hey, let's don't take no chance here. Let's just run the ball, punt it away, and see if we can't make a play."
When he said in post game again, either yesterday or today, when it was brought up to him, and he referenced the 3rd down play from the Cleveland game, which was 2 or 3, which was game 2 or 3 of the year.
Right.
That right there let me know that answer to your question that he's too involved, and I think he's got these guys handcuffed a little bit. There to G-Witt's point, you throw a play action from your 4-yard line. We've never done that as the Titans in so long.
Right.
And then you get the ball at the 50-yard line needing to go right after they just scored. Everybody knows you play action right there. Take your shot, get that crowd out of it, get the defense on your heels. But no, we run a reverse that Traylon should have had a loss. Should have been tackled for a loss.
He ended up getting 5 yards out of it.
So that Vrabel is I feel like he's too conservative because he puts, and again, somebody had put it in there about that's what you get when you get a defensive minded coach.
That's right.
I agree and I disagree just a little bit. And the little bit that I disagree with is that's what you get when you get an old school defensive coach, because DeMarco Ryans over in Houston, he's a defensive minded coach. But I guarantee you, if you look at that offense, he's letting the offensive coordinator run that, and you see what they're doing with their recap
That's
there.
the difference.
Yep.
That's the difference. You got to let your coordinators do their job, and I think,
Yes.
and that's the one thing that you see. I think Vrabel's putting his hand too much into the pie and everything, and I'm just going to answer this one question from Will: why Vrabel won't commit to Levis? He don't want to commit to a rookie.
Nope.
He don't want to do that and put it out there in the atmosphere. So
Yeah.
chances are, I mean, based on the play results and the way the offense is running, it's going to shock me if they come in next Tuesday, and he said Tannehill's going to be the starter.
So,
especially the way he was playing.
So just go back and look at the videos we saw last week of how the team was reacting to Will Levis and his play. So my opinion is if he goes Tannehill, he's going to lose this team. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Because why would you take him out and he's providing a spark? Your offense is when you apply it can be explosive when you take advantage of it. And why would you go back to that Tannehill one read? I'm gonna get a sack mentality.
and even speaking of that, you talking about the videos from last week. You know, the other thing about it is the one thing I did notice last night after he threw that interception at the end of the game, and he had to stand on the sideline and watch Pittsburgh take the knee and all that kind of stuff. Alshire was in his ear, basically, and telling him, "Look, man, this is not on you. This is not on you."
Right.
And he was, he took it personally. He's like, I lost the game, but Alshire was telling him, "Dude, this is not on you. Let it go." And and to me, that speaks volume as far as what the team thinks about him. So like I said, if Vrabel comes back Tuesday and says Tannehill's going to be the starting quarterback, you're right. He might lose the team with that move.
And so, to your point, though, Jay Lee, you said they ran a play action. They backed up. They went 5 wides. Backed up.
Yes.
I mean, Levis was in the end zone taking a snap, and they complete a pass and go 29 yards for a first down. So, again, it's just Vrabel putting the handcuffs on the offense, man.
I think the one thing they got to learn, and one thing you do notice about Will Levis, again, it goes back to his strong wrist. He's just got a quicker release.
He does.
He gets that ball out of there. I had to give him his props on that. Like I said, his biggest problem right now is his footwork. But other than that, I mean, he reads the defense. I think for a rookie, he reads the defense extremely well, and he gets the ball out of there pretty quick. I mean, he was going against that pass rush. And the thing I like about Levis is that he's not looking at the pass rush around him.
Nah.
That's one thing I noticed about him last night. Even with all the hits he was taking and the rushes he was getting, he was still keeping his eyes downfield. Again, even Herbstreit pointed out, sometimes he was holding the ball too long, waiting for somebody to get open instead of getting rid of it. But at the same time, I thought, really he's really providing a spark for this offense. And really, another thing, because he's doing that, is opening up the run game because all of a sudden you're seeing Derrick going against 7-man boxes instead of 9-man boxes.
Oh yeah, you saw that last week when the Falcons
ladder went too high
safety, right? And so you saw that again, and when they and I know it made you tear up, J. Lou, because they were running out of 4 wides, out of 3 wide sets, and getting yards, and so
I've been asking for that. That to me, that's how you take what Derrick Henry does and add him to this evolution of your offense, running him out of them 3-4 wide receiver sets where he's got to be spread out, and so he make one linebacker miss. We know all the DBs are making business decisions.
Yeah, they tripped on the longest run he had. They barely tripped him, and I thought he was gone.
Yes.
So looking at some of the stats, man, 23 first downs for the Titans, 3 of 13 on third down. Of course, that's not gonna get you a victory. And then the red zone continues to be a struggle for a team that was once one of the top in the NFL in the red zone, 1 for 4, and I can't remember what the number is. That's like 1 for 12 or whatever it is. It's some crazy stat that they are not being successful in the red zone. 4 sacks given up, of course, that 1 turnover, and I knew what he was doing too. G Witt, he was trying to high ball to Wiley because Wiley's a big frame, he can jump. I mean, I'm not mad at that at all. You take that where he's throwing it in the end zone, trying to score instead of taking a little check down Charlie route that Tannehill put it through. and then you mentioned Chig, and so Chig, he's been having some drops, but he made some big catches on that last drive, man. I thought he did well.
He did.
And getting out of bounds, and so it's just it's just crazy, man, how things are going with this team and how we're sitting here and 3-5. It feels like it's worse than that. So
It really does.
let's flip over and look at the defensive side of
Do we
the
have
ball. Yeah, we got to. So Pittsburgh 6-12. They couldn't get out. Defense couldn't get out the field. Now, when they did get out the field, though, again, that conservative play calling
right back out
got you in trouble. That's right. That's right. Kenny Pickett, man, Kenny Pickett is probably. I mean, he's terrible, and we got beat by Kenny Pickett. So, J. Lou, talk to me about this defense, man.
Yeah. So the one thing you said it in your recap at the beginning. The D-line, man, I feel like our D-line coach is our best coach, but I think that, again, I think this goes to the scheme. Go back and just watch the play of the defense and watch how many times the D ends don't rush up the field because they're stunting to the inside. If I see one more twist where they're coming, like to your point, I already know that the D tackle, whether it's Jeffrey Simmons or Danico, they gonna hit they dude. The D end is going like they going in and come back around and try to go up the middle. Like it happens every game, like 40% of the time.
So you know what happens? Then I'm sorry to interrupt. You know what happens when they do that so much? The touchdown run that was a run that was almost a touchdown. What did Weaver do? He goes inside. Gives up the outside. Now they grabbed his jersey real big, but here no there, he's inside. He loses leverage. The guy just.
But Weaver's got that. Weaver's always got that problem.
He does, but again, he took an inside.
He took an inside tackle instead of setting the edge like he was supposed to.
Yeah, so
we don't set edges no more. Like we don't set the edge. You saw again. You got Landry now. Again, once I saw the replay, I don't think he was in coverage. I think he just read the play from chipping the tight end. So I give him that. I'll be honest, as quiet as it's kept, and I might be in the minority, I think Christian Fulton the last 3 weeks has been the second best defensive player.
He's played the best football he's played so far this year.
Yes, I mean he's now. I know that we were chatting and thing. I know in the run game with tackling. He's suspect there, but coverage wise and tackling when he's one-on-one out there, hey, that's what I'll say. I'll say he's better than what he's been. Now, again, I don't think he's living up to that number one corner that we need, but he's been better than I think he's gotten credit for. And it's been quiet. I mean, it's real been quiet. I thought he did a decent job last night. You see how important Roger McQuarrie is to this team. Because you were down to when Sean Murphy Burton played 8 plays and went out with his thumb, you down to your 4th and 5th.
Is that what he went out with?
He hurt that last week.
He broke it. It's broken. He had a cast on the sideline on it. So but you down to your 4th and 5th, and Garrar, he looks like an undrafted rookie. Avery is still playing out. Yes, he's still Avery. Best way to put it. And we still don't turn around and look for the ball. That third down, you had to make this third down stop when they went for it and the guy caught him. Now, he put his hands in your face mask, but you turn around, your hand is right there to knock the ball down.
So if I'm Bowen, if I'm a defensive coordinator, and I know I got a second-year corner out there and I got an undrafted rookie out there, I'm going to put some safety help over the top.
Man, and then Edmonds, we saw why he don't need to be in coverage.
Yeah,
he looked too lost and slow last night. But and to G Wood's point earlier, the speed outside of the heat-sickened missile Ajir, who I'm sorry, but he made the play of the game on defense when you run down the middle of the field on a cover 2 with a receiver streak,
a speedy receiver,
and you get your hand up. He's got speed. Gibbons continues to be a liability on the field. He's a
big liability.
He can tackle, yes. But to your point, he got beat on the outside. He can tackle you north to south. Going east to west, you saw him get beat a couple times. And I don't know for the life of me how this defense. It's like the defensive line watching them. It's like the effort just isn't the same when they realize that they can't get the rush there, and they just because Kenny Pickett with hurt ribs, and you knew his ribs were busted up on a short week. I would have heated him up all night long with cover 0, and we didn't do that. So
he only did cover 0 once,
one time,
and he threw the ball.
He threw it 20 yards. 20 yards.
He didn't want to get hit. He about to get tore up. G Wood, go ahead, man. Defense.
Well, again, my biggest takeaway on the defense, and I'm just gonna call it what it is.
Go ahead.
Piss poor tackling.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
horrible.
I mean, that was driving me bananas. And I was like, dude, tackle the man. You're so busy. You got
Strip the
DBs
ball.
that rather would hit with the shoulder rather than wrap somebody up.
Yep.
Either that or they're trying to wrap a stump of a running back up high instead of going for his legs
And getting drugged.
and getting drugged. I mean, you know, or you got linebackers who can't shed blocks to get to the hole to where they need to be. I will say this, and J. Lou, you said it last night. Really, they just need to go ahead and pay Tarp.
Man,
You see the difference in the run
he was
defense?
out, they were running right up the middle.
right up the middle.
Because they were double teaming Jeff, so he couldn't get to it,
Yep.
and the linebackers was out of position. Gibbons is slow, and really, unless you got somebody that's gonna, you know, unless they're coming directly at him, he's just not gonna make the tackle.
Yeah.
And he's horrendous in coverage because he has no lateral quickness.
Right.
So, you know,
Terrible.
to me, that's a problem. We was talking about it offline. I'm going to stick with it. You know, I will say this. You know, you finding out one that Monty Hook is slow,
Very slow.
and you know and there's a free safety. He's very weak, and you're finding out Molden is slow. You know, he has a hard time covering. It's just one of them things, man. Where I think they miss Byard. You know, I could be totally wrong, but I just think they do. And, you know, if nothing else, I think he had everybody in position, so you played a little bit better. But right now, they can't tackle, they can't cover, and it's getting to the point to where they can't stop the run. And that's just not a good sign for that defense. And I agree with what you said, J. Lou, earlier. Obviously, Schwartz was calling the defense last year. Obviously, because what Shane Bowen is calling, it's back to where it was
2021.
really in 2020. When Vrabel was calling the defense. You know, he's not calling anything. And even though Vrabel said he was the defensive coordinator then, yeah, obviously not. Or if he was, then you're a dumb head coach for giving it back to him, thinking he learned from Jim Schwartz, and he hadn't.
Yep.
Right.
He's running the defense the same way he was in 2020 when they were horrible. And they're back to being horrible again, which is why Jeffrey Simmons is so pissed off, because like we're back to the same way we were in 2020.
Yeah.
And it just isn't making sense. I said to Eddie all the time, this team consistently cannot get it right. They simply cannot get it right. You're either good on defense and horrible on offense, or you're horrible on defense and you're good on offense. It just never can be good on both sides of the ball. I'm not even asking for great. I'm just asking for good on both sides of the ball, and you just can't do it. And Vrabel's not getting it done. Now, I'm just going to be honest with you. He's not getting it done. Yeah. I mean, he showed a little bit of that last year when he wouldn't get rid of he who shall not be named. And you see it again this year. And I agree with you both. Injuries aside, yeah, there's injuries and everything, but injuries isn't the reason why you're not tackling good.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about it.
Right. No, that's correct. Adam Peter says the same D they played last year without.
I said it. Yes. Yeah, you lost Bud Dupree and a handful of backups. It's the same.
That was it.
Yeah, it's the same defense, and
but
you
lost Schwartz.
You lost
Schwartz. That's the key. You lost Schwartz.
You lost Schwartz.
Will says Deontay Johnson hadn't scored since Big Ben. He got his first one on us.
His first one on us. We're turning into the
right game.
The get right
game. That's right. The get right game.
Everybody, if you can't get right, the Titans come around, you'll get right.
Yeah. So let me point this out too. Something I know from defense. Why isn't Gibson playing more? Gibson actually set the edge pretty good last night, if you notice. And some of those disruptions in the backfield because he beat his block. And so why is he not playing more? The guy is causing havoc every time he gets the opportunity to play. That's coaching, man. That's coaching, and it just don't make sense.
Again, I'm almost to the point really, you play Arden King, you put Gibson on the other side, and you put Harold Landry in the middle and go from there. And move Gibbons back to being a sub, because right now you have no speed in your linebacker core.
The problem is Harold Landry can't cover nobody.
He can't. He can't cover nobody.
So you got liability there too, right? Yeah. You're right. So heads or tails, which one you want out there?
I mean, at least Harold Landry will hit the hole and play the run better. That's all I'm looking at.
We think
and can
we
get to
hadn't
the
seen him
quarterback.
stand up, and we hadn't seen him stand up in the middle and go against the run too much. So we think he can, but we got that's just something we hadn't seen yet. So I'm not saying he can't. 326 yards given up by this defense, man. Like I said, what he
Against a trash offense.
yeah, trash.
Yes.
Let's
166
be honest
yards
about it.
rushing.
Pittsburgh's offense is trash right now.
Oh yeah. No,
And
no
we
doubt
give up
about it.
166 yards rushing
166 yards rushing,
because we
and
can't tackle.
Jalen Warren had
Exchange
88.
blocks.
8 yards a pop for
8 yards
Jalen
a
Warren,
carry.
11
Mhm.
carries. Yeah, 16 for 69 for Najee Harris. And the get right game, right? That was the
Yeah,
get
it's a
right
get
game
right
for
game
their
for Chiefs,
offense.
man.
And so special teams wise, folk, he's still
He's
doing his
still
thing.
money.
Stonehouse, man, he
He's
still
still
doing his
money.
thing. Money.
There's nothing to say about special
There's
teams
nothing to say
because
about
Except,
they
special
did
except
what
we
they
don't have a return game.
even the
Yeah,
coverage was
yes.
good.
Yeah,
the
I was
coverage
like,
was probably
coverage was good.
the last 2 weeks. The coverage has been the best it's been all
Yeah.
year.
And
Yep.
if you notice, especially the last 2 weeks, Stonehouse is starting to get real good at directional punting.
Yes.
And directional punting with the hang time on it, and it's helping. So, but I'm like you, I thought the coverage was well with them breaking down and making the tackles. But special teams, that's the one thing. It pains me because Arkerman probably
Craig.
Craig's got job security now because you got a veteran kicker who is just money, and you've got a punter whose money is gonna bring him back for another year.
Yeah. So you look at the
By
AFC.
the way,
Go ahead.
on special teams, when is Jackson due back?
Anytime, but
Yeah, I'm about to say the window should have been open.
The window
Yeah.
could have been open before Atlanta game. I
Right.
think he was more hurt than they let on, so he could be a couple weeks away from what I've heard still.
Man,
Because to your point, I heard you earlier. Yeah, we don't have you put Spears out there, and we just fair catching the kickoff, and then Garrard, at least he ain't muffed a punt.
Yeah,
I guess you'll give him that.
But you're missing Jackson on the return game.
Yes,
really.
yeah,
You're really missing him, and you're missing him as a receiver. I'm just gonna be honest about that because right now, Traylon Burks is probably done for the season.
Yeah, he's gonna be out for quite a while.
He's gonna be out for a while. That's his second major concussion.
Yeah.
And really, in all honesty, and I'm just speaking on the health of the guy, he needs to retire.
Yeah, it's probably time to see Colton Dow, see what he can do.
Yep.
Call the rookie up.
Yep.
And let him get some snaps. AFC South, though, the Jacksonville Jaguars in at 6-2. And then there's a logjam at 3-5. Of course, Houston hadn't played just 3-4. The Titans, as it stands right now, they not doing faring well in the AFC games, period. Well, I guess not too bad. 2-2. They beat the Chargers and the Bengals, and then lost to the Browns. Well, 2-3, I'm sorry. The Colts and the Steelers. And so got the Buccaneers coming up this weekend, gentlemen, next week. So they get a mini bye to try to get shuffle some things around and see what happens. I'm going that Tuesday press is going to be very interesting to me to see what Vrabel has to say, what kind of changes that might take place, and if he's going to pull the trigger on Tannehill.
It's going to be very interesting weekend, I think, over at Ascension Sports Park, because you just have to wonder how much collaboration is going on with him, Rand, and Miss Amy. Because I think if Amy has her way, you start Levis. Amy and Rand, you start Levis. Because G-Wit, you mentioned it earlier about him just not wanting to give rookie credit and all. It's like he does it. I don't know why you would make that change. And again, I understand that Tannehill, you made the change. You were so quick to make the change with Mariota.
I disagree with you on that one.
I thought he was quick to make. Everybody knew going into that it was a Denver game before the bye. You knew if he played horrible, he benched him that game.
Yeah,
he benched him the first half of he had to bench him that game because he's playing horrible, and then he never got a shot to get it back.
No,
as I heard some of the media say this week, the whole notion of you can't lose your job to injury shouldn't be true. Right. Yeah, Tannehill went down, and again, I think the ankle injury. I know for a fact the ankle injury is the only reason you see Will Levis buy or not. But I don't think that Levis gives you a chance to run your full playbook. Yep. Tannehill gives you a chance to think you can run the full playbook, and he can't run it. So I agree with both of you. I think it's time to see a lot of these young players. At what point in the season, and again, Playoffs are going to be tough. I mean, you always want to get to playoffs. I want to see him keep playing because I'm a fan. But being realistic, you're starting to drop AFC games that will be tiebreakers.
Yep.
The Jags look like they're going to run away with the division, even though you got 5 left against them. At what point do you start getting these guys some real live game reps to see what you might have going forward? And I think that's the conversations over the next week or two that I think you'll see between the collaborated group over there at the Baptist Sports Park, Central Sports Park.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. Really, if to me, in all honesty, and the competitive in him won't let him do it. But Tannehill should come back and just say, "Hey, look, I'm ready to go, but you got a good thing with Levis to back up.
Let me be the backup and be
I know that ain't gonna happen.
Yep.
Yeah, right. It ain't gonna happen.
So, but in all honesty, Vrabel should be, he should be open enough to see that, to see his offense function better with Levis. Even though I know you don't want to do it because he's a rookie, but at the same time, you see he's not your everyday rookie. No. It's not like he's not reading the defenses. It's not like he's not making line changes and everything. It's not like he's not even checking out of plays to run something else. So he's functioning really as a veteran quarterback almost, because everybody who's watched him play, and I'm not talking about the pundits, I'm talking about the professionals who actually played the game. They all say, hey, look, this guy is better than we thought he was going to be. And like they said, how'd he drop?
This guy sat on the bench for 6 games.
Yeah.
He wasn't even the backup quarterback.
He wasn't even the backup.
So he wasn't even getting reps in practice.
Yeah.
And he comes out. Credit to Charles London, man. I'm gonna tell you, that's
which they said it came out that him and London met every Monday.
They've
working consistently. Yeah. So I mean, that right there goes to show a rookie who, to your point, 3rd string coming off an injury, but you're putting in the work and you're seeing it again. You got a 2-game sample, but you got, to me, I think you got a good 2-game sample. Atlanta probably should have been good because you had 2 weeks to prepare. Pittsburgh, you didn't go up there and really lay an egg. You played well. You played very well enough to win the game. Play calling was suspect. Had a couple throws you want to get back, but he had you in the game from beginning to the end.
Yeah. So here's what I was impressed with more than anything. So as he's calling out the blocking assignments, checking the mic, you saw what Pittsburgh was doing. They was changing the mic, and he was picking it up, and he was picking it up, and he had everything running. So again, I just think we got the guy. We just can't have a coach that's gonna put the clamps on him not let him run the team and run the offense. And to me, so it's a telling sign to me when AJ Brown says things are different here to KB, right? Everybody, I mean, there's something to that. Things are different here. We go win. You're not like you used to be.
Yeah, we play to win.
Yeah, but it's not. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying it's not like that old. It's that old fish mentality. We're just gonna stick around and see if we can't look up and win some kind of way.
The thing about it, and sticking on Levis and everything. I will say this one good thing about him too. So far, and last night would have been the perfect indicator. I didn't see any panic throws.
No.
I didn't see any panic throws.
The bonehead play he had was he threw it behind.
I saw some bad throws. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't see
taking a second threw it back.
Yeah.
That was the one thing that really concerned me when I looked at some of the highlights, especially his last year at Kentucky.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of panic throws, but I didn't see any last night. And I would have thought with that defense we were going to see some. Now, don't get me wrong. I saw some bad ones. He threw a couple that should have been picked. The fact that he only has 1 interception was really good, but at the same time, I didn't really see panic throws. I didn't see him throwing the ball. I didn't see a Ryan Fitzpatrick type throw. Yeah. Where you just throwing because you're scared you're going to get hit. I saw him standing there and have command of the pocket, actually move up in the pocket and make some good throws. And then, there was a couple of times when he tried to run when he had to throw there, but that's a rookie. You're going to see that. I give grace to rookie quarterbacks because they're just going to have problems, but still, he threw the ball well. I mean, again, he just needs to work on his footwork to be more accurate. That's the only thing. Because the pass to Tajay Spears, that would have been a touchdown. I think if he steps into that a little bit more, he gets a little bit more accurate. And Tajay has a chance to make the catch. But other than that, like I said, no panic throws. He's impressing me.
Looking at the Buccaneers, there's an opportunity again. They got one of the bottom half defenses in the NFL, giving up 354 yards of offense. Pretty good against the run, under 100 yards a game. So there's opportunity to run the ball. The Titans are now giving up 114 yards a game rushing. I remember last year it was in the 70s. So, it's so ugly, man. So ugly. You got Baker Mayfield, of course, on that squad leading them. They got to play the Texans this weekend, so that'll be an interesting matchup.
They'll lose that game.
You got Baker is my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Baker's going to test them corners again. We need help.
Mike Evans
and
Chris
Godwin.
Yeah.
He's just going. Baker will take his shots. Yes,
they're going to eat him
again. Here we got another game though, where the offensive line is not that good. And can we take advantage of it and make some problems for Baker Mayfield? Of course, not the way that Bowen's been called in here the last few weeks. No.
If we conservative.
No.
Yeah. And I don't understand what's the difference between playing the Falcons and the way he did them. Because, you look at Desmond Ridder and you look at Kenny Pickett, they're about the same quarterback.
Yeah, the
so
difference.
Why would you not?
And I would be more afraid of blitzing Ridder and missing because he's a little bit more faster than Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett ain't running.
Yeah,
so
I don't know, man. I don't
know. They went to Pittsburgh, and I would say you guys said it earlier, and they went up there with that Jeff Fisher game plan.
Yeah. Hope to keep it close.
Scared, they were scared of losing. They wanted to keep the game close and let it come down to the fourth quarter, and we go down and kick a field goal.
And we got a rookie quarterback.
Football.
Yeah, and we got a rookie quarterback. We want to try to keep him protected.
Keep him protected. And I'm like, look, man, just you play to win. Yeah, so I think really, in all honesty, if any of the coaches are watching this show, hey, look, you guys have got to be more aggressive than what you are. Because right now you're killing your chances. One more loss and you're done.
It's gonna be tough.
One more loss, you're done. I mean, you have no chance.
No, they if they have to run the table in the division. They have to run the table in the division. Yeah, in the division. If they lose
the division and all the games, they gotta run it because one more loss and you're done. There's no way you're gonna make. There's no way you're gonna make the playoffs 11-6. Not this year.
It's gonna be tough. Tampa Bay runs a 3-4 defense. Of course, they got Vita Vea. They got a tough front. Devin White, Levante David, Shaquille Barrett. I mean, tough cornerbacks. Jamil Dean, Carlton Davis. It's gonna be another test. Antoine Winfield Jr. Free safety, man. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
Adam Peters let them screen.
Adam, man, we appreciate two comments, man. Appreciate it. Nathan says sharp as a free agent. I'm just saying, yeah. Oh man, but guys, thank you again for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Your comments, your questions, man. So, who's to blame for the loss? Coaches, Vrabel.
Coaching staff, man.
Yeah,
put it on Vrabel. Put it on Vrabel.
92-yard drive, game-winning drive for them. You had a perfect punt, perfect coverage, and you let them go 92 yards.
And after you give up the touchdown, you get an unsportsmanlike conduct.
You get the ball at the 50-yard line.
And you go 3 plays.
3 and out.
And throw a bomb. And throw a bomb.
Throw a bomb on 4th down.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
and get your receiver killed. So
yeah.
Hey, it was a great catch if you'd held on to it.
Well, that's how I knew it was a bad concussion because he looked at the replay. He had the catch, but as soon as he hit his head,
it went down.
Yep. So that's when I was like, he's got a concussion.
Yeah.
He needs to go ahead and retire
because he had his feet in bounds. He had the ball, but
he needs to go ahead and
retire. Kyle Phillips was open across the middle for a first down. But anywho, I mean, like we said, got to take the highs and the lows with Levis. He's a rookie.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna make some bad reads, which he did, but he did more good than bad, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be the steal of this quarterback class that came out this past
season. I agree.
He may be.
So,
but Rand has got that scouting department's got to be really working hard because there's a lot of players that's got to be replaced.
I'm excited about what Rand's about to cook.
I think.
Yeah, that's
my take some time.
The season is that's my wheelhouse. I'm excited about what Rand can possibly cook up when I look at what the 49ers team done and see how he came out of that personnel department. They had a couple years down, got a little bit of money and made some moves. You get his team second most cap space, a state that has no state taxes. I'm gonna keep saying that. I think you can get some players in here. I think he goes out. Perfect scenario. You hope you hit on the quarterback. You hope you hit on at least 2, if not 3, of the offensive linemen you currently got on the team, and then you know what to go replace. And I think you're not far off. And again, as we mentioned last week or whatnot before the bye, the NFL set up. Think about this. Think about the Detroit Lions. They were 1-7 at one point last year. And they on the path to probably be a
6-2 right now.
Yeah, a number 1 seed in the NFC, and that's a quick turnaround. So he has an opportunity. To your point, it's interested to see what they'll do from a coaching standpoint, because I think no matter how much talent you got, if your scheme is trash,
your team
like
will be trash. I agree. Or if you don't allow your coordinators to do the job, you know, and it goes back to what I said when they first hired Vrabel.
Mm-hmm.
If Vrabel, what you need him to be is a good game manager.
Yes,
you know, but he's got to have good coordinators. And he started off fine, but I still say his ego has gotten in the way.
Mm-hmm.
He still thinks he's a DC, and he's not. He's a head coach. Manage the game. That's what you want to do on Sundays. Manage the game, but you let your coordinators call the play. He let Arthur Smith call his plays. You were averaging 30 points a game.
Best offensive league for 2 years.
2 years.
Red zone too.
Red zone and everything. And all of a sudden, you get a wild hair. You're going to put he that shall not be named as your OC, and you tanked. You're trying to make your way back with Tim Kelly, but obviously you're still putting your hand inside the offense because, you know, you was like, we're going to kick a field goal instead of going for a touchdown. So, you know, I'm saying, you know, some things, you know, you just got to let your coordinators be a coordinator, and you got to just bite the bullet and say you made a mistake with Shane Bowen, and go out there and find a true defensive coordinator.
So I'm excited about Rand too, because look at the draft class. So you got 4 guys that's really has 6 picks, right?
6 picks,
and you got 4 guys that's Spears. You got Levis. You got Wiley. He's improved so much from camp, right?
Yes.
And you got
Peter
Skoronski.
Peter's number 1 pick. So,
and you got some undrafted free agents who have panned out.
You got some undrafted free agents.
You know, you drafted you
that are not bad.
Jackson's an undrafted free agent. He's your best kick returner.
Best returner.
Yeah. So I'm with you, Jay Lou. I'm excited.
And
it's gonna take some time. You gotta be patient.
Yes, that's the thing about being a fan. Especially a smart fan. You want the team to be competitive, but you got to be smart and realize the team is probably at minimum 2 years behind because they lost.
Look,
they had no draft picks. I mean,
I'm laughing.
J-Rob has nobody left.
All right, I'm laughing at G because he already said I can't sit through another 3-13 season. I can't. 3-14, I can't do it.
Hey, 2-14.
You might have to do it one more time.
I can't. You know, they got to be better than that, man. I've been through that. You don't want to go through that.
They might be 3-14 this year.
I know. Well, I think they might be better than that because at least they're winning at home.
So far,
So far,
they're
winning at home. They can't win on the road, but they're winning at home. And again, I think them. Well, I would put it like this: the first game on the road was all Tannehill's fault. I mean, he threw interceptions like he was
New Orleans. Yeah, New Orleans.
You know, but still at the same time, you know, with the exception of the Cleveland game, we've been in all of them. Mm-hmm. I would say the last few that we've been involved with is basically because of Vrabel. You know, he got. I think the Cleveland game just scared the bejesus out of him.
Yes,
and he can't get over it.
If he's still referencing that game, and 5 weeks later,
yeah, the Cleveland game just got him. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, Pittsburgh defense is good. That secondary could be had last night. I didn't understand.
Man, they didn't have Minka back there.
Minka wasn't back there. You could tell.
And how could you not take advantage of Peterson? He's so slow.
He was holding everybody too.
Him and Joey Porter Jr. was Porter Jr. was holding DeAndre Hopkins so many times. I was like, you wait to the last drive of the game to finally call holding on Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah,
I was like, he's been grabbing, pulling the whole time. But again, D Hop is paying for what that play got away with last week.
Yeah.
Hey, it ain't his fault that crew didn't call it.
But he's paying for it now.
Don't punish him because they didn't call it.
And I just like to put out there, D-Hop has more receiving yards than I think all these old receivers we've had on the team combined.
He has.
Yeah.
And put this
Yeah.
out there too while you put stuff out. D-Hop still got some moves.
Man.
Spin moves.
Yes.
Start and stop. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
And he
D-Hop
learned from the best, man. He learned from Andre Johnson, man.
Yeah.
He did.
Yes.
He came up on his tutelage. You're right.
Uh-huh.
You're right. But again, thank y'all for joining us tonight, man. Another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Eddie Arnell, G Witch, J Lou.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Adam Peters, for all your comments, man. Tough sledding. You're right. Bad coaching. They'll get it right. They got to get it right, Dion. Dion said he will Eric B. enemy.
You won't
I
get him.
bet he won't get out because Riverboat
Washington,
Rob, he's on his way out the door.
Yeah, he's gonna be the Washington head coach.
He's gonna be on his way out the
You
door.
ain't gonna get him. I agree, Dion. Dowell needs to be in the game.
Yeah, we probably gonna see him now.
He needs to be in the
Merch
game.
going down. I mean, even Chris Moore, he made a great catch last night.
Yep.
So you got some guys that could do some things, but you just can't be conservative.
Can't be
with the pay
conservative,
caller.
and it
You gotta
stars,
go. You gotta
stars
go
up
for
front.
Stars up front.
You got to go for it. But the thing about it, they got to do more than anything else. They got to run the ball better than what they have. These not giving keeping
17
Derek
carries.
out on these 2-minute drive and 4-minute drives just don't make sense.
17 carries. That's all I gotta
You
say.
keep him in the game because he's your biggest threat, and play action works because everybody's afraid of him, especially now because he's running even better. Now he's in the hole better.
And yeah, Brian, I agree, man. You got to be able to stop the run. Got to get that run defense back that they had. Papa Tart is not even. That's a whole nother discussion. I don't even want to go on that because we already been long. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, they 17 carries. All 3 wins this year. He's had at least 22 carries, at least
22.
minimum. So, and they had Levis throwing the ball 39 times. We already said that for Tannehill, that's a recipe for disaster. But Will Levis, we'll see. We'll see.
It's too many.
I mean, it's too many, but because they didn't run the ball worth a flip either. So
if you're gonna run the ball, run the ball. I mean, you have some good runs, so if you're gonna run the ball,
they did
run the ball because you got to give them that threat of the run. And what Will Levis is doing, and you can see the effect because it hit Atlanta and it hit Pittsburgh. He's causing that offense to open up a little bit more, that defense to open up, and giving Derrick Henry
backing up,
to run in.
Backing up. You got them backing up, man. You got a defense. You
got
a threat of a deep ball.
Yep,
you gonna back up. You gonna back up.
You got to cover. So
especially you got a secondary
you got
like
to run
that.
the ball. You got a chance to run the ball effectively, but Tim Kelly's like most offensive coordinators. Once you start throwing the ball, he wants to throw the ball all the time.
Thank y'all again for joining us, man. Check us out. We'll be back after this little mini bye the weekend, and we'll be discussing the Titans versus the Buccaneers. The Titans go on the road to play the Bucs. Not this weekend, but the next weekend coming up. And so check us out, man. We're back at our normal time, 7 p.m. Sunday. Dion, you got it, man, 7 p.m. Central Time. Not this Sunday, but the Sunday after that, man. If it changes, man, we're going to let you know. I'll reach out to you personally, let you know, man. So you be out here. I'm sorry, man. I hurt your feelings, brother. You my dog. Thank y'all, man. We out of here.